Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today I'm here to talk about the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. And while talking about these, I'm going to ask you guys one question, and that is, I want your guys' advice. We're going to put up a poll. Which iPhone should I buy for the channel? So here's the thing. To be quite honest, the announcement happened, and I really don't care. And why do I say that? And I mean that in the nicest way I can. It's really that this has nothing, with the exception of one thing when it comes to video, that I don't already have, that isn't better than this, or that I haven't had for a long time in smartphones. So the iPhone 11 is really good because it obviously gives the ultra wide camera to all of the new iPhones. That's the biggest thing. Now, is Apple kind of really messed up with their marketing in changing it to iPhone 11 instead of iPhone XR? Yeah, they are. Because they are purely using marketing to now make you, when you go into a store, oh, do you want the iPhone 11? It only starts at $699. Well, yeah, but this is actually the cheaper version of the iPhone. And they just upgraded their standard iPhone to Pro without really deserving it. I feel like too many YouTubers are being too nice about it, and maybe that's because they got the invitation to the place. So they're like, hey, we don't want to, we're going to be nice about it. I don't know if they deserve it or not, or they don't deserve it. They do not deserve the Pro moniker. They could have done a lot more things to make it Pro, but they didn't because all that's happening next year. So, should you upgrade to the iPhone 11? Definitely, if you have 2 generations old, I think it's worth the upgrade. If you have an 8 or if you have a 10, I think it is going to be worth the upgrade overall. Now that being said, the iPhone 11 starts at $699, the iPhone 11 Pro $999, and the iPhone 11 Pro Max $1099. I hate these names. The last one is just so bad. Not to mention the look of these. I have to stop and talk about the look because I really think people are being a lot less forgiving of that camera hump. It's just not elegant. It really defines that this is no longer the Steve Jobs era and this is the Tim Cook era. Let's make phones as cheap as we can. Let's sell them. We showed all these phones we have now, the XR, the 8, all these phones that we can sell for really inexpensive price so we can up the market share, up the sales, which is better business sense, but it doesn't have the elegance and the quality that Apple's been known for so long. Now, my biggest thing is why should anyone buy the Pro? Like, really, why? The only really bad thing that I will say that I definitely noticed in the 11 is the screen quality. I did not like the XR screen. I thought it was a really, step down. You could notice that it was noticeably worse than $200, $300 smartphones. So that's just my thing. Like, I'm a big person of, I don't believe you need a 2K display. I don't believe that. I believe 1080p is fine for most users, but when you have a 720p display on that big of a screen, a 6.1 inch display, I think it's definitely noticeable, and I think especially, yes, when you have it side by side, it makes a bigger difference, but also the brightness and things like that really make it a factor, and it's still an LCD, so for me, that is my biggest con about the 11. Everything else, though, I don't care about as much, so you have better water resistance with the Pro, you have the 2x times optical zoom, which doesn't really matter. We want 3 or more now. It's 2 times really doesn't matter that much. And you have the stainless steel on there. It doesn't matter. I put a case on mine. I'm already getting emails from case manufacturers on sending cases. So now I'm really wondering, which one should we buy? Because of the fact that, again, I've told you guys before that, we always want an iPhone to review. But now the cameras across the board are going to be the same for the main camera and the wide angle camera. So it's a $400 difference. I always have traditionally gotten the flagship of any smartphone. So whether it be the iPhone 11 Pro Max in this case, or the Note 10 Plus, or whichever one, this is a $400 difference. So I'm going to leave it to you guys in the poll. Let me know which one should we buy for the channel, because that $400 could maybe lead us to buy, say, the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. That $400 could definitely go towards that, and it makes it a lot easier on me to buy both. Or do you want the Pro Max to really be tested to its paces? The battery life is supposed to be more about, I think, a 4-hour difference comparing between the two. So I wouldn't be able to really do the battery test with the latest iPhone flagship, but I think most of the channel is always on the speakers and the camera, which is the same across the board. So let me know that in the comment section. Now, I did mention something earlier, and that is that there is one feature that Apple did here that I am really jealous of, that I wish I had, because I'm so much into video recording and photo recording. I'm recording this with a Note 10 Plus right now, and I love recording on the go. I love doing better audio quality, all that kind of stuff. But one thing Apple did was the front camera and the rear camera can both shoot 4K at 60 frames per second now. That is something that I have wanted to do with the front camera. I don't even need 4K 60 frames per second on the front camera. Just give me 1080p 60 frames. That's what I'm recording with now. It still keeps a better stabilization, even though I have this on a gimbal. But it really is something that is just, that is something that I wish Android would really step up on, and I hope they do. Phones like the Pixel don't even record at 60 frames per second. I think that's a big mistake. And 30 frames per second just is so outdated to me. You either record 60 or 24 to get the cinematic or the real life look, and I think that's the way to go nowadays. I think 30 is so outdated that smartphones really need to go this route. So I really want to see more of that innovation, and I'm glad Apple did this, because I know now in my S11 I will most likely get 1080p or 4K at 60 frames per second on my front camera, and I thank you, Apple, for that. I really do. Any competition is great, and any true innovation is really good. Will they make others improve the waterproofing more? Possibly. But I really am just excited for what's to come because of this in video recording. That what are we going to get? I think the camera wars are pretty much going to be the evolution of the much higher zoom that we're going to see next year. I think Apple's going to go the route of the fingerprint scanner in the display because it's cheaper for them to do, especially in China. I think you're going to see a Type-C on next year's iPhone. And I think there's going to be more dramatic changes, reverse wireless charging, all that kind of stuff you're getting next year that you didn't get this year. So overall, should people get the iPhone? I think if you got last year's iPhone, this is definitely not worth it. Although I will say that if you are big into wide angle camera, then it is. The reason why I say that is because I said the same thing about the Note. I said that it's definitely worth it to upgrade to the Note just for the camera difference to the Note 9 and that wide angle camera, but that was also a dramatic battery life increase, and it really was a lot more things. So although I do think Apple did some good steps here, I think next year's is the one to get, and because we know there's going to be so much more next year, and I believe that's definitely a reason to wait if you have last year's. But if you have 2 years old model, you're definitely going to love the ultra wide camera, and that is something that all of them have. But do you need the Pro? Probably not. I think the 11 is definitely what most people should buy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and let me know which one I should get for the channel. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.